coming back again. Thanking the Lord for so much. God bless the YouTube family, Facebook family, and big shout out to my man P on this video about the way I kind of growed up and staying humble. Great question. And once again, tonight, I'm not even going to get in the Bible, man. I'm not going to get in the Bible tonight. I'm getting with the real talk tonight. Sometimes we don't have to open up the Bible. I know a lot of people ain't going to agree with that, but that's for the holy to die folks who like to quote scriptures all the time. The way I grew up, man, rough. I come straight out of the hood and learned a lot, man. I had a whole lot of bad examples of what not to be. And then learning from my own mistakes. Growing up kind of poor. I ain't going to say kind of. Growing up poor. And wasn't a lot of fathers around, man. Wasn't a whole lot around. I give a great shout out to my boy Marvell and his daddy, Mr. James Carpenter, who was like a father to the whole neighborhood. Because long as I can remember going to school, I maybe could count on one hand, how many people daddies was around. And it was sad, man. We used to play in the field with the crack bags. We used to pick up the needles. We used to see the rocks. We used to see the fiends getting high. We used to play with the guns. Because we grew up in that era when crack was hitting the hardest. Dope was just taking over, man. I saw so many people strung out, but I'm saying this to say this. You don't have to become what your mama was, what your daddy was. You can be better. If your mama was strung out, prostituting or whatever, you can be better than that. I used the hood as a way to just do better in life because I kept looking at all of the things that was wrong. And you know what's sad, man, to my heart? To see so many people I grew up with strung out on dope. Strung out hard, man. I'm talking about some of them ain't even 40 years old, man, and looking like they 80. Look like old men and old women. Bodies just gone. Teeth gone, just rotting from all the dope. All the, man. You use your bad examples of how to be a good example. That's why I say Paul told us, man, every time you see good, you're going to always see evil. You got to learn from your mistakes. That's why I used to tell folks, man, like my mom used to tell us, no matter what I tell you, son, you're going to have to get out there and learn and make your own mistakes and learn from them and live. And that is so true. You cannot live your children's life for them. They got to make their own mistakes. It's time, it come a time when you stop babying your child. Because a child ain't going to stay a child forever. Even though we got grown folks walking around here acting like they still children. Now we got babies raising babies. Youngsters getting more and more pregnant at an early age, man. You got to learn from your mistakes. Live and learn. If you're not learning from what you have been going through, what are you doing? And if you don't have God, you sure ain't going to make it in this life. I grew up and lived. I love the way I grew up, though. You know why? Because it taught me how to appreciate life. I am appreciative of the little things in life. This is why I don't have to have no car on rims. I don't have to have the biggest house. I don't have to have all the money in the world because once again, I'm like Apostle Paul. I have learned how to be content in whatever state I'm in. Whatever I'm going through, I done learned how to be content. And when I say content, content don't mean you're going to always stay in something. You have learned how to be content when the time is being. Just like I tell people about money and being broke. God never told us to be broke. You done got content with being broke, then something wrong with you. Content don't mean staying down forever. I wish people could understand that. I don't know what your situation is or what you are going through, but you need to learn how to be content. But when I say content, I tell folks they get that twisted. Yeah, you're going to have trials and tribulations. If you're going to keep telling yourself you're going to be poor, you're going to be poor. If you think selling dope is the only way, then that's what you're going to keep on doing. If you think prostitute is going to be the only way, stripping is going to be the only way, that's what you're going to continue to do. If you're sitting up thinking you're going to make it in heaven with all of these sins, you got another thing coming. Jesus told us no sin will inherit his kingdom. None. I don't care what your sin is. Sin will not get in. I learned from examples in my life of what and what not to do. Some people wake up faster than others. And then some just stay ignorant the rest of their life. Life is serious. Life ain't no joke. Sad thing is too many people playing around with their lives. One of my favorite scriptures is when I was a child. I did things as a child. I done as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. That scripture is so important. But you got a lot of men and women still doing childish things. Excuse me. They can't learn how to get past ignorance. And the sad thing is, everything we need to know is right here. And half of the people don't even want to pick it up. The basic instructions before leaving earth. Bible. Bible. Yes, we grew up in the hard times. Me and my brothers. That's why I'm so proud of all of my brothers. If you are married and out of this neighborhood and you're doing good, that's a blessing. Because most folks didn't live to see 30 years old in this neighborhood. I got a list sitting right here on this desk of how many people died. We had to drive-bys. The video I did for Edmar Carlos Maxey, that boy got killed at 12 or 13 years old. We had to drive-bys. The selling the dope, the gang banging, the shooting the dice, the getting drunk, the prostituting, the stabbings, whatever you want to call it, it went down right here in this neighborhood. And you know what? God left me around and God put me on the right track because I am still here. I could have easily got caught up on the block selling dope, doing what everybody else was doing. We didn't have nothing positive out here other than our music. K-Ray, you know what I'm talking about. Thank God for putting you in my life at an early age because the music is what kept us through. Our friendship with each other is what kept us off a lot of trouble. I used to have nightmares of getting killed, of a bullet coming in the house hitting me in my head. I remember when they shot through my cousin's house, they was having a big old drive-by out here and bullets was flying everywhere, and the bullet went through my cousin's house right by his bed, right by his head, where he lay at, excuse me. Bullet just barely missed him. Good God Almighty. The way we grew up was rough. And I know a lot of people can relate to this. Because when you come up out of the hood, if you make it, you should be shouting and rejoicing. Sad thing is, a lot of people in the hood still doing the same thing on the same block. And they ain't came up on nothing. See, it's too easy for me to make my money the right way than to be on the block looking over my shoulder, worrying about haters and snitches and police officers, people setting you up. Had a lot of great examples of what not to be. In my family, I watch how dope destroyed them. Guns, dope. I got a cousin been locked up since 96 right now. Been gone since 1996. Same year my grandma died. I miss my grandma. I have no grandmas left and I miss them. Because that was the real wisdom, the knowledge, the backbones of the family. If you got your grandmas missed, if they are gone on right now, then you can relate to what I'm talking about. Because ain't nothing like Big Mama, but Big Mama gone. Bernie Mac made a joke a while back. He said, you're a great grandma now when you what, 35 years old? Man, Bernie Mac was telling the truth. Look at the teen pregnancy. Look at how many youngsters on the block, man. They done gave their life to the streets. Look at how many people locked up in the pen. See, it's a big old wall right here. I don't have to bump my head on that wall, but one time to know that wall ain't gonna move. I know I can't run into that wall no more. So my job is to go in another direction. If I'm gonna make a mistake, let me make another mistake. Why are we still making mistake after mistake on the same old stuff we ain't learned yet? Stop riding down the street with your car smoked out, with guns up under your seat, with your kids in the back, tinted windows, license plate hanging. You asked to get stopped. You asked to get stopped. It's bad enough. It's hard enough being black. I don't know about y'all, but I done got stopped so many times in my life. Done been put at gunpoint by the police for no reason. This is serious what I'm talking about. We got to quit living in ignorance, people. We got to. Because we need to be setting an example for the children. Best believe somebody looking at you. And youngsters, if you looking at this video, it ain't about you walking around here with your pants hanging down to the ground, man, where people can see your drawers. It ain't about bling bling. It ain't about how many grills you can put in your mouth. Stop believing in all this lifestyle, this. Oh man, I don't have nothing against rappers, but a lot of this stuff that's going on, you youngsters, y'all thinking that's what it's all about. It ain't about the hoes, the guns, the drugs, and the sex. It ain't about all of that. And I don't care who get mad at me for saying that. We need more positive examples. And I'm going to get out here and close this video. God bless.